Right. Well, we welcome Jerry with us today. He's from Host Defense. Jerry, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. And please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Jerry Angelini. I am the head of education here at Host Defense Mushrooms. And um, I have a master's of science in rehabilitation counseling from Boston University. And
Oh, awesome.
yeah, so I have been a integrative healthcare practitioner for over 30 years now.
Oh, that's
Um,
exciting.
yeah, it's really cool, actually. Although I didn't grow up in the health food industry, I got there pretty much on my own, just through a series of physical injuries from sports, where it was pretty much like Western medicine was going to fuse about four vertebrae in my back. And I was like,
Oh, goodness.
I got to try something else. And my parents were super open and started doing traditional Chinese medicine and chiropractic, like
Okay.
gentle chiropractic.
Yes.
And over the years after that, I really, my relationship with integrative health became much more profound. And so after like having a private practice for, I don't know, like close to 20 years,
Oh, wow.
I got a little burnt out. And so I went on sabbatical and I did some traditional Chinese medicine, some like postgraduate studying in the herbs, especially, which I've always loved. And I had studied with Rosemary Gladstar years and years and years ago. She's a brilliant woman. And um, I was working at a health food store in Santa Cruz and doing some post grad work. And um, like I got basically hired by Host Defense to be the educator. And it's been a blast ever since. I've really, really loved the change. Still have a very small private practice. I can't ever really give up like doing that one-on-one with people. It's really beautiful work for sure, but also the training that I do with Host Defense and bringing just the magic of our fungal allies to people's lives has been a really beautiful experience too. So yeah, I
Oh,
love
I'm
it.
sure it has. What a wonderful history that is.
Yeah.
And so good to know that you've just been able to help so many people just all through your life with
Yeah.
natural health. And the value of that is just beyond measure. So we
Yeah.
certainly thank you for that. So interestingly, I have to share this with everyone because this is a fact that just came to light that we did not know that Paul Stamets, the founder of Host Defense Mushrooms, is from Columbiana, Ohio. And that was where he first began his foraging days. And
Yeah.
that is just 5 minutes from here, right over the border from our county in Ohio. So, what a neat thing for us to know that, and just a local connection there.
For sure.
We love
Yeah,
our
and he's a
mushrooms around here.
super cool dude. Like,
Yes.
yeah, just a real just a real warrior for the planet, for people. Just he's a stellar individual.
Yes. Oh, he is. And this company is just one that we really have
Yeah.
enjoyed working with all these years. So it's pretty exciting stuff. So
For sure.
today we are going to be talking about some very pertinent subjects like brain fog and immune health.
Right?
And a lot of times, oddly enough, those two just go hand in hand, especially lately with
Yeah.
everything going on out in the world. So, can we start to address maybe immune health first and give us a little bit of background on how host defense can really help us? We know because we take most of your products. And I
Yeah.
don't go anywhere without my Microshield.
Oh
And
gosh,
you
I
know,
love
you
that
walk into a
stuff.
crowded room and you're like, yeah.
It's so
Cinnamon's my
true.
favorite. Cinnamon's my
Yeah.
favorite. I just love it. But it's such a great thing.
Yeah.
But would you mind sharing with us a little bit of, just kind of that progression?
Yeah, for sure. So like immune health it's kind of one of those things that people don't really think about it until they have to think about it, right?
Yes.
Except for the last year and a half where everyone's been talking about it nonstop. So really,
Yeah.
when we take a look at the human immune response, it 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 loves to be in a state of equilibrium, right? So
Yes.
like the immune system has to be in that kind of sweet spot. We kind of call it the Goldilocks zone, right? You don't want it to be too hot, you don't want it to be too
Right.
cold, can't be too soft or too hard. It
Yes.
really does function just right, hopefully. Like that's like in the best of all circumstances and in healthy individuals the immune system has this sweet spot. And so our immune system is part of our body's ability to identify whatever factors in our life that are not optimal. So whether it's
Mm-hmm.
our microbial balance or whether it's tissue health or even
Mm-hmm.
oxidative status, so like oxidative damage versus antioxidants that we have in our
Mm-hmm.
diet,
Right.
our tissue functioning, if it's optimally functioning or if it's damaged or if it's been overused, but also our microbial situation, which of course is our probiotic versus
Yes.
pathogenic environment. and,
Right.
and so like there are all of these factors that our immune system is reading, and when those are not optimal then the immune system engages. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then that's what inflammation is. And inflammation is really critical for the immune response because
Right.
that's, in fact, all of these immune cells talking to each other and, ramping it up to make sure that it can address whatever situation it's been presented with. But then there's also like a set of checks and balances in the immune response. And these help bring the immune system back to that, perfect state of equilibrium again. So back into that the Goldilocks zone.
Right.
So you've got the trigger that sets the immune system off. You've got the
Mm-hmm.
inflammation, which is all of the immune cells talking to each other
Yes.
and ramping up activity. And then you have modulation, which is the immune system's checks and balances that bring it back to a state of watchful waiting. Uh,
Yes.
Right. So this is
Yeah.
brilliant. It's like every single, well, hopefully every single one of us have this process,
Right.
unless you've got a genetic situation going on, and then that will be compromised.
Right. So I just want to go back and make sure that everyone understands a couple of the
Yeah.
points that you said, because they're just so important.
Yeah.
The oxidation. And we talk about antioxidants and all of that, but
Mhm.
oxidation I usually equate to rust in your body because it's
Yeah.
damage. It's something that people, like it's a visual that we can get a little bit of a better handle on, especially if we're having some brain fog.
Yeah.
So, those antioxidants, and then talking about the inflammation, and the cytokine, because people hear about the cytokines and the cytokine storm and how dangerous that is. And if you could maybe address that and
Sure.
how we can better able to equip our bodies to
Yeah,
handle
for
those
sure.
things so that it doesn't become an issue.
Right. So for your immune system to work, you have to have a release of these cytokines.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
the cytokine is it's an umbrella term. So
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of different cytokines. Some ramp up the immune response, some ramp it down.
Mm-hmm.
So the cytokines that go through your system that ramp it up give you all of those feelings of like the scratchy throat or the achy back or the headache or the body aches, the fever, the malaise, the
Yes.
desire to practice sheet therapy, which is kind of like get back in bed and throw the sheet over your head, right? So those are the inflammatory cytokines that get the immune cells in the fight. So this is
Mm-hmm.
super important. Without them, we wouldn't be alive, right?
Right.
But they can be fairly uncomfortable. And if there is tissue damage along with like a pathogenic microbe, those are both different triggers that continue to ramp up and ramp up and ramp
Mm-hmm.
up the immune
Yeah.
response, right? But luckily, in a healthy immune response, we also have modulatory cytokines, and they kind of are checks and balances. And think of them like really, really good babysitters. They know how to kind of like get that room full of 8-year-olds like working in all one direction, right? And
Right.
they keep the like kids from like fighting each other, and they know when to put them down for nap and like when to give them arts and crafts to kind of keep them like focused and
Right.
directed, right? So these are what we call our modulatory cytokines, so
Mm-hmm.
really important, and it's part of the process. So they naturally come up, but there are some great substances that we can use in the natural products industry that both help ramp up the immune response and modulate the immune
Yes.
response. So again, this concept of balance is really critical. So we want to
Mm-hmm.
help maintain a healthy, balanced immune response.
And that is what mushrooms are so good at, is modulating our immune response. So
Right.
let's talk a little bit about some specific mushrooms, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
for sure. One of my favorites, and we're going to talk about this, is reishi, but also lion's mane. These are two
Okay.
of like my favorite mushrooms at the moment. Reishi is really great. It's a strong modulator of the immune response.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that want to help maintain that like kind of balance in their immune system, reishi is really brilliant for that. And it's been used for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine.
Right.
Uh, but it's also been the focus of hundreds of research articles and
Mm-hmm.
studies. So it's very well researched.
Right.
It's very well tolerated by most people. And it does a lot to just help keep that immune system functioning in that Goldilocks zone.
Mm-hmm. I,
Uh,
I'm sorry to interrupt. It just makes me think mushrooms are such a great food. Anything that's a food that we're supposed to be taking in is usually so well tolerated by our
right,
bodies. So it's not
right.
something that is foreign. It's like, oh, hi, old friend.
It is. Yeah, the body knows what food is, and it creates
Yes.
this experience of tolerance for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So, reishi is a great mushroom for that. Lion's mane is another amazing mushroom. That's, again, another edible food mushroom. So
Mm-hmm.
you can actually buy this at
Yes,
like
and
a
they're
farmer's
beautiful. It makes
market.
great soup.
Yeah, delicious. In fact, I love eating them.
Truly.
Um, and from that, you can the lion's mane and reishi, like all of these mushrooms, one of the ways that they work is like in your intestinal tract. We have about 70-ish% of the immune response in there.
Right.
It's an approximation,
Significant. Yeah.
right? But it's
Yes.
really the vast majority
Mm-hmm.
of your immune response is in there. So when the mushrooms interact, like then there's like hundreds of different compounds that we can get from mushrooms
Mm-hmm.
that interact with our immune response in the intestinal tract. Mushrooms are also amazing prebiotics, and they feed
Yes.
our
Our probiotic.
probiotic
Right.
microflora.
Yes.
And so that's another way they benefit our intestinal tract, but our immune response too. And then there are all these other what are called secondary metabolites
Okay.
from mushrooms that hit a bunch of other systems of our bodies. And lion's mane has gotten a lot of press about this. There are certain compounds in lion's mane that help our body's production of nerve growth factor and
Mm-hmm.
brain derived neurotropic factor. And
Right.
these two growth factors help our like neurons like regenerate and repair and grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so these compounds don't do it directly, but they trigger our body's release of these growth factors. So the
Yes.
food is what kind of nourishes our body and helps it function better, which is, I just like, for me, that's like a brilliant part of like the natural
Absolutely.
products industry. It's like
Yes.
food, like you are what you eat, like,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yes.
like health and illness begin in the gut, and like
Absolutely.
all these factors that we hear like when we were kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let food be thy medicine, right?
Yeah,
Hippocrates,
exactly.
centuries ago. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just want to take a quick hiatus for a minute and
Sure.
say we have a lovely giveaway for the program today. And to be eligible for the giveaway, which will be chosen later, you have to tag a friend who has brain fog. And so you might want to make sure it's a good friend so that they don't get offended or anything. But we have some lovely host defense things. And one of the neatest things, well, we have a compass that is in the package and a stainless straw. So
Yeah.
those are wonderful, easy to clean. And we have some stickers, and we love your host defense tattoos. We just love those. They're so much fun.
They really are.
And oh, and there's a little host defense mask in here. That's very nice. And we have Mycelium Running and an awesome book by Paul
A lot of
Stamets.
great information in there. You
Yes,
definitely want to
yes.
read that for sure.
And such a neat thing is a utensil set, and it's
Yeah.
got little
They're bamboo
chopsticks in
like
here. And yes,
fork and
exactly.
chopstick
That's
and
just
spoon.
beautiful. So that little fun package is going to be available to anyone who tags a friend of theirs or a family member with brain fog today. And since we were just talking about the lion's mane,
Yeah.
let's get into a little more how that can help us with our brain fog, and then whatever other mushrooms you have for us to talk
Yeah.
about.
For sure. So as I was saying, though, that the lion's mane has these compounds in them that help our body like create these nerve growth factors and
Hmm.
brain-derived neurotropic factor. And you know, there are a number of thoughts about what creates brain fog. It could be diet, it could be, you know,
Significantly.
external factors. There may
Hmm.
be, you know, something that is in your environment that could be triggering this
Hmm.
off. And but we do know that when the immune system is engaged, one of the feelings that you can have is that kind of like brain in a bubble, or brain
Yes.
like your head feels like it's in cotton, encased in cotton,
Hmm.
and your cognitive functioning isn't as
Yeah.
you know, rapid, and your memory and your concentration. And some of the research on lion's mane in small human clinical trials has shown that it has supported cognitive functioning. And this is especially in 50-plus-year-old individuals. So like for me, I'm glad, because like I fall into that category for sure.
Yes,
And
definitely.
I notice things aren't quite as sharp as they used to be,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
so for me, I love lion's mane to help kind of keep my thought processes
Hmm.
focused and accurate. And then
So,
go ahead.
oh no, I was just going to say, so let me ask you, do you
Yeah.
prefer the liquid or the capsules?
Well, I do the capsules mostly because it's just super simple. Like I just throw the
Okay.
capsules in my you know, my
Right.
supplement regimen,
Yes.
and I take it and I go to town, you know.
Okay.
So for me, it's more just like a like how accessible is it?
Hmm.
But if someone's doing smoothies and you like to use liquid extracts, for sure, like do like 1 or 2 droppers of the liquids
Okay.
lion's mane in your smoothie every day. I think it's a really great way to get like those liquid extracted
Hmm.
compounds for sure.
Okay. Awesome. That's a good thing to know. So it can be combined with other things, and it doesn't affect
Yeah.
the effectiveness of the medicine, of the compounds.
Of the lion's mane, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Mushrooms play really well with other substances. They're
Okay.
great in
Great.
the sandbox for so, you
Okay.
know.
Yes. That's awesome.
So other research on lion's mane itself has been done on mood, and has been shown to help balance mood and help people just feel like more centered and grounded and in their life in general. And I think this is really important in our world today
Yes.
when
Oh my
lots of
goodness, yes.
people are feeling really off kilter in
Mm-hmm.
so many different ways. So, it may be that, the lion's mane not only helps cognitive functioning, memory, just nerve functioning throughout your whole body, but also that mood too, which I
Mm,
think is like we need a little bit more stability in
yes.
our world today.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
and
Homeostasis for everyone.
yes, for sure. So like yeah, like a gram, which would be 2 capsules, 2 grams, I think is
Hmm.
another great thing, just a little bit more if you want to bring a little bit more attention to
Yes.
brain and nerve functioning and gut health.
Right.
But then we also have a powder too. So if you want to take
That's right.
like a little bit more,
Yeah.
like if you want to take 3 grams a day, 1 measured teaspoon of the powder,
Hmm.
in that canister will last you a whole month, and that would give you 3 grams a day. So that also
Excellent.
super easy to add to like smoothies, or you can sprinkle it on your oatmeal, or I
Oh,
know some
nice.
people that
Yeah.
put it in their coffee in the morning. So
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is excellent information. So, i- if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about your blends, your Stamets 7 and MyCommunity, and when you would use those, one as compared to the other.
Yeah, for sure. So Stamets 7 is 7 mushrooms, equal parts. It has cordyceps, great for lung functioning,
Hmm.
reishi, cardiovascular, and the balancer. It has lion's mane in there. It has
Okay.
maitake that helps with blood glucose levels already within the
Okay.
normal range. You've got chaga, which is great for epithelial and digestive health.
Hmm.
Agaricus blazei and messima are some 2 other mushrooms that are just great for all around immune
All around.
response.
Yes, definitely.
So Stamets 7 is your daily immune support to help your whole body. And some of the
Hmm.
preliminary research on Stamets 7 shows that together the 7 mushrooms work better than um, and stronger than each of the 7 mushrooms used separately. So there's
Okay.
synergy in the
Oh,
formula.
interesting. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, super cool, right? So
That
Stamets
is.
7, I think, is your daily immune support that's going to hit your whole body. So if you want to like give yourself a little bit of extra energy, you want to focus
Hmm.
on your brain and just everything in your body, go for that Stamets 7.
Okay.
MyCommunity is a 17 mushroom mix, but it isn't a formula. So, there's more of some than of others.
Hmm.
And this is what I like to use when I'm definitely not at my best. Like, so
Okay.
I feel like I'm off. I've fallen out of the Goldilocks zone in my immune
Yes.
response.
Okay.
And I need some help to kind of just get myself back into that beautiful place. And the liquid MyCommunity is super rapid in its
Okay.
impact. So
Yes.
like I find that it's really strongly modulatory, and so if I really feel like I need to work and I need to kind of modulate all those cytokines that are kind
Hmm.
of pinging around in my
Everywhere.
body,
Right.
I'm going to use that liquid. I'll put it in a little water, because sometimes like I don't like to taste the alcohol flavor.
Okay.
So I just put it in like a couple of ounces of water and I'll take it. And I can do that like a dropper full every hour or so.
Okay.
But if I really don't like those liquids at all, I can do the capsules, and I can take a couple of
Right.
capsules 2, 3, 4 times a day when I'm not
Hmm.
feeling at my best.
So then your Stamets 7 is your mushroom multi, and your MyCommunity is the heavy hitter when you need some extra help.
Totally. That's how I like to talk about it for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. That's wonderful. What about those with autoimmune issues? Because I know they
So
certainly have to be careful with their
yeah,
immune system. And since mushrooms are a great modulator, I
yeah.
would think that would be wonderful for them.
You definitely want to be working with an integrative healthcare
Mm-hmm.
practitioner, but the
Right.
mushroom I think to start with would be reishi. It's
Okay.
like one of our really powerful modulators of the immune response. Start low and go slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 1 capsule every day for about a week, see how your body responds, then maybe add a second capsule, see how your body responds.
Excellent.
Start low and go slow. You can do the liquid too. Again, those liquids tend to, I feel in my own personal experience, have a stronger modulatory activity. Start with 1 dropper full for a day in the morning for a week. And then if it still feels good, add another one. And like you can go up to 2 grams or 4 dropper fulls a day.
Okay.
But keep your eyes on things for sure.
Right.
The last thing we want anyone to do is to have an adverse event. So
Absolutely.
yeah, keep your
Absolutely.
eyes on that.
Yeah. And always good advice. You need to work with a good healthcare professional who's going to be uh, willing to advocate for you and with you and partner with you in your health journey.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's one more I think is really cool. I love the Breathe formula.
Oh my
The
goodness, we
Breathe is
sell so much of that.
right. It's brilliant. It's
Yes.
3 mushrooms. It's reishi, which is the balancer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Cordyceps, which
Mm-hmm.
increases lung capacity and
Yes.
oxygenation. So it
Yes.
increases your body to take in oxygen, which is brilliant. And then chaga, which is another great modulator, especially for digestive and lung and skin tissue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like all together, those 3 mushrooms are just an amazing formula to help get our lung functioning in that optimal zone so that
Right.
you're taking some nice, deep, graceful breaths. You're getting
Mm-hmm.
some great oxygenation. Your body's immune response stays right within that Goldilocks zone.
Yes. I think it was last February, and I was reading some studies that were coming out about COVID and cordyceps, and that they were shocked at how much cordyceps was helping. And I just thought, duh. Because, it's
Yeah.
just an amazing mushroom. And then the compound with, we have so many people who are just absolutely like, I can't be without this. So it's
It's delightful, right?
a
And
fantastic
most
thing.
people know cordyceps from the athletic world because of its
Right,
support for athletic functioning and that
right.
oxygenation. But I use it just in fact, all year round
hmm
because I just, my breathing is so much more graceful when I use
Yes,
cordyceps or the Breathe formula.
yeah,
So that's really why I love it. And
that's excellent. Yeah,
yeah, it can be really helpful for lots of people.
absolutely. Oh my goodness. Jerry, this time went far too fast
Super quick. Just
because,
one quick thing.
oh, please.
Don't take mushrooms too late in the day because sometimes they build energy in people
Yes.
and you don't necessarily want to be up at like midnight or 1 o'clock
No.
if you took them at 9 o'clock at night. So
Early in the day is when you take
yes,
your
like breakfast,
mushrooms.
lunch, maybe
Yes.
6 p.m. We
Yeah.
have one sleep formula. It's called Complete Calm. That's a little bit different, but everything else,
Mhm.
like take during the day.
Yes, absolutely. An important thing to note.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate that. That's excellent. Well, we always finish with a Bible verse, and the verse that I've chosen is Proverbs 16:24. And hopefully, this will connect with people. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Hopefully, you heard your gracious words today from Jerry. They've all been wonderful and healing to the soul. And we really love that. And we do want to say that our host defense rep, Kelly Charles, she's one of our favorites, is going to be here tomorrow in Chippewa. And she's going to be here from 2 to 4. And this is pretty exciting. With every $20 purchase, you get a free Microshield. So we didn't even talk about the
We
Microshield.
didn't even,
Maybe
and I
maybe
love
we'll
that
maybe
stuff.
we'll take a second and talk about why that
Yeah.
stuff's so wonderful because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And when she's here, she has a lovely Host Defense gift basket for us, worth $150, and each purchase gets a chance to win that gift basket. So, and don't forget to tag your friend with brain fog, and let's just close out on Microshield if we
Yeah.
can.
5 mushrooms, spray 3 to 4 sprays 3 to 4 times a day in your mouth. It coats your oral mucosa. You swallow it. It's really rapid absorption of these amazing mushrooms to just keep your immune system on point. And I know you said that whenever you walk into a crowded room, you use it.
Yep.
I use it like when I would walk into an airport or walk
Yes.
onto a plane.
Yes.
3 to 4
Yep.
sprays,
Exactly. Yep.
like
And anyone
without
with me.
fail. Exactly. 5 great flavors. I know you love
Yes.
the cinnamon. There's
Yep.
peppermint,
Yep.
licorice, if you want that
Yes. That
soothing
one's
licorice.
really good too. Yes.
It is
It is
tasty.
very good.
Citrus, which is pretty mild, and winter mist, which is
Yes.
birch, which I love. I
Oh,
love the
you know, I haven't
birch.
tried
That
the
sounds
winter
really
mist yet. I think I'll have to try that.
good.
You
Yeah,
said birch, and that just, oh my goodness, yes.
so
That's wonderful. Yeah,
yeah,
you just feel like it wakes up your immune system.
sure
Saying,
does.
I've got to be on guard here.
Yeah,
So we love that. Yep.
for
Yep.
sure.
We, it's like we just go and spray each other with all our Microshield, run around the store.
Right? Oh,
Oh, well, Jerry, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. And thank you for all of your knowledge. It's just been wonderful for you to share that with us.
yeah, most pleasant. Yeah. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. All right, everybody. I think next week we're going to have our holiday gift guide, so don't miss it.